Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We are honored that several current Hall of Famers have returned for today's event. Please join me in welcoming Alonzo Alexander, class of '93. Glenn Benke, class of '74. Megan Rossi Bremer, class of 2007. Matt Campillo, class of '81. Al Carius, honorary degree recipient, class of 2016. Bob Dunphy, class of '85. Sandy Eberhardt, class of '91. Coach Pat Gora. Megan Allen Gossett, class of 1990. Coach Frank Grammaroso. Special inductee Hank Gunther. Bonnie Hanson Jagella, class of '83. Adam Johnson, class of 2008. Cam Kniss, class of 2007. Tim McCoskey, class of 2001. John Novak, class of 1964. Lenny Radke, class of 2006. Susan Bame Randazzo, class of 1990. Ken Ritter, class of 1988. Brenda Sanders, class of 1983. Special inductee, Dr. Ken Sanders. Dan Seward, class of 1982. Craig Steffen, class of 1987. Rachel Seacrest Selfridge, class of 2010. Coach Marcy Thurwachter. Amber Druin White, class of 2007. Coach Tim Winder. Please join me in a round of applause for the current Hall of Famers who have returned for today's ceremony. It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's Hall of Fame inductees. Please welcome to the stage Bernard Werner, class of 1980. Cammie Loudenbeck, class of 1983. Norman Robinson, class of 2000. Mia Viola Peretta, class of 2001. Tony Rizzo, class of 2002. Brian Deloria, class of 2005. Ben Ewell, class of 2009. Matt Wenger, class of 2010. Jake Winder, class of 2011. Derek Raridan, class of 2013. Ed Matthey, class of 1986. Will you please join me in a round of applause for this year's class of North Central College Athletic Hall of Fame inductees. It is now my pleasure to introduce Adrian Aldrich, class of 2002, Assistant Vice President for Institutional Advancement.
Thank you, Jim. Welcome, everybody, and it is awesome to see so many people in red coats here. I'm Adrian Aldrich, class of 2002, Assistant Vice President for Institutional Advancement. I ran cross country and track here. I was never as fast as Tim McCoskey nor as cool as John Novak. So it's great to have all of you here. It's my honor to serve as the MC for this annual event, and we're so glad that you're here to celebrate with us and to celebrate the accomplishments of these outstanding athletes and special individuals. It's been tradition since 2004 to induct the elite Cardinal athletes into the Athletic Hall of Fame. And as you know, last year we were unable to hold this event due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But that misfortune has turned in our favor this year because today we recognize the largest Hall of Fame class in our history. While the pandemic paused competition for our programs for a time last year, it has not slowed down our student athletes, nor their enthusiasm, nor their desire for excellence. Since the last time we held this ceremony, we've seen 2 more Cardinals participate in the Pan American Games, increased our total to 142 individual and relay national champions, and won 2 more national team championships, making that 40 overall, and one of those being our historic first ever football national championship in December of 2019. I think that deserves a round of applause. And just as impressive and as important, our student athletes continue to excel academically. After another outstanding semester in the classroom this spring, Cardinal student athletes have now won 741 academic honors. I think that deserves another round of applause as well. The role of the coaches and faculty mentors has never been more important than last year, and we owe so much to these individuals for their tireless efforts to keep our student athletes motivated, prepared, and confident. That's how we've kept our winning tradition alive during such a challenging time, both in the classroom and on the field of play. Now, before we induct today's honorees, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our student athletes, alumni athletes, and coaches in the audience today. We've got people up top. We heard the wrestling team and the baseball team and the basketball team here, so let's give them a round of applause for being here to celebrate today. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Jessica Brown. Jessica recently joined the college as our new Vice President for Student Affairs and Athletics. She came to us from Eureka College, where she served as Dean of Student Services, Engagement, and Leadership. She's a longtime champion for diversity and inclusion in college athletics and an advocate for student athletes as achievers and leaders. Jessica's in very familiar territory among athletes and coaches, as she was the head women's volleyball coach at Eureka College and a volleyball player in her days as a student athlete at Western Michigan University in my hometown of Kalamazoo. Please welcome Jessica to say a few words.
All right. Thank you, Adrian. Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by saying how much I appreciate you all for being here today. It is so important to acknowledge the achievements of our greatest student athletes because they have set an example for excellence for others to follow. That excellence in tradition is why I'm so excited to join North Central College. As Adrian mentioned, I am new to North Central. In fact, this is my first official day on the job was just a little over a month ago. So while I haven't had a chance to experience that much of Cardinal athletics for myself yet, I am certainly know the college's reputation, and let me tell you, is very impressive. I am dedicated to one thing above all else, and that is ensuring that every athlete or not, gets the opportunity to thrive and make the most of their collegiate experience. What stands out to me about today's inductees is what I have learned about North Central. It is that people find community here. North Central shows students that they are valued and they are important and they are a part of something bigger. That's why the Hall of Fame classes were able to make the most of their opportunities. The North Central Athletic Program teaches the importance of being on a team and working together to achieve goals. But individuals are never forgotten. Some of these inductees began their college careers elsewhere. Some of them weren't even sure they wanted to be a collegiate athlete. But at North Central, they found a place that welcomed and encouraged them to find their very best. With the help of coaches, teammates, they found their sense of belonging and they excelled. I pledge to do everything I can to ensure the traditions continue for each student athlete on this campus. I look forward to helping them become great citizens and leaders, and I'm also excited to see what they will accomplish. It is shaping up to be another great year. Our football team is off to a huge start as they are defending their national title. The cross-country team is dominating per usual, and the women's volleyball team is looking great. You know I'll keep a close eye on them. We are really excited about what the future will bring, including adding men's triathlon as a club sport to keep our standard of offering the most ways to play the best and to succeed in the CCIW. I look forward to meeting as many of you all as I can to share my excitement about being here at North Central. I can't wait to learn more from you all about the tremendous traditions I have joined here at North Central College. Thank you to all the coaches, professors, faculty, mentors for teaching our student athletes and setting a great example for them. Thank you to our student athletes, friends, and families for supporting them and letting them know that they have support to succeed. And to our Hall of Fame honorees, thank you and congratulations for giving us all such a high standard to aspire to. I appreciate you welcoming me, and I hope you have a wonderful homecoming weekend.
Thanks, Jessica. North Central has built a lasting legacy as the finest athletic program in the CCIW and one of the absolute best in Division III. That legacy begins and ends with our commitment to student athletes and coaches. We work together as a community to provide them the support they need, whether it be the facilities, equipment, transportation, academic support, or simply enthusiastically cheering them on in person and from afar. Today we come together as a community to celebrate that commitment and the people who best exemplify it. They've done themselves proud, as all of us, and have done us all proud as well. We honor them in hopes that they will continue to inspire Cardinals for years to come. But before we begin with today's induction, I want to take a moment to remember two members of the Athletic Hall of Fame who passed away this year. Both of them had an important impact and a long relationship with athletics at North Central, and I knew both of them personally. First, Dick Smith, class of 1948. Dick was a Hall of Fame performer in baseball, basketball, and football, who was a staunch supporter of Cardinal athletics and a fixture at this ceremony from the very first year. And Jim Rank, class of 1958, a Hall of Fame swimmer who was captain of North Central's very first national championship team. Let's take a moment to reflect on their lives, their dedication to Cardinal athletics, and their love for the college with a moment of silence. Thank you. And now it's time for one of our greatest athletic traditions. Greatest athletic tradition next to hosting championship hardware, though, right? I will introduce each one of our inductees, and we'll see a video of their career highlights. I'll invite you to learn more about the inductees from their profiles in the program. After the video, each honoree will have an opportunity to come to the center of the stage to receive their Hall of Fame medal and the signature red jacket. and then they'll each be invited to say a few words. Here to present the awards are Jessica Brown and North Central's Director of Athletics, Jim Miller, class of 1996. Let's give Jim a round of applause, right? Come on. Our first honoree is Bernard Werner, class of 1980. Bernard was a 4-year starter and All-American at offensive guard and a vital piece of one of the greatest rushing attacks in North Central football history. His dedication on and off the field set a high standard for generations to follow. Let's enjoy the video. It's my honor to induct Bernard into the Athletic Hall of Fame. Let's give him a round of applause.
Just to make sure I'll keep my remarks brief, I'm grateful and humbled by this opportunity to receive an award for something that was a stepping stone in my life. As a freshman, you come into college not really having experience in life, not really having a foundation for anything outside of where you've grown up. But when I came here, I learned a lot. Very grateful for my coaches, Ron and Hank Gunther, who were responsible for me coming to this school, but more grateful for the experience of the 4 years that I was able to spend here. And I'm so glad that our football program turned out to be such a great success. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bernard. Our next honoree is Cammie Loudenbeck, class of 1983. Cammie was a determined rebounder and scorer who was key to the women's basketball team's success as they transitioned to the NCAA play. Her excellence at such a critical moment in the program's history secured her place in our history as a Hall of Famer. Let's enjoy Cammie's video. It's my honor to induct Cammie into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'd like to first start by sharing a practice I've adopted over the last couple of years. Before I get out of bed, I think of 3 things I'm grateful for. It's a great way to start my day. This morning when I woke up, the 3 things were this very distinct honor and humbling experience. I was grateful that I was able to catch a game at Wrigley Field yesterday, since I live out of state. And the fact that this award was not given posthumously, it's good to be alive. I appreciate the Hall of Fame Selection Committee who have chosen me for this honor. The 4 years at North Central were some of my best, and I have great memories of those college days. From Rawl Hall to Kimmel, the classes, the labs, Tuesday nights, and the great times. North Central opened doors for me that wouldn't have been available. A huge thank you to all those who were part of North Central College. And then there was that 1983 team. I'll be honest, it feels a little odd in that I've always seen my teammates as the Hall of Famers, the real all-stars. The fact that I share a place in the North Central College Hall of Fame with Brenda Sanders, Kim Wallner, and Bonnie Hansen is very humbling. I was the role player. I had better not miss a weak side rebound. Because we were such a cohesive team, we were able to rise to the NCAA National Championship. After graduating, I had the opportunity to coach basketball at the high school, the junior college, the college level, and a short stint in the WBA, the Women's Professional Basketball League before the WNBA. I've been in education for 35 years, spending the last 17 as an instructional coach. Through coaching basketball and as an instructional coach, I often think about what makes a team successful. Some words that come to mind about a successful team: a common goal, focused, driven, and gritty. Vince Lombardi said, individual commitment to group effort or goal, that is what makes a team work. That, in a statement, was the 1983 North Central College basketball team. My coaches, Wayne and Carl, instilled confidence in us and the belief that we would succeed. I hope that I've been able to instill a fraction of that in the basketball teams I've coached, the students I've taught, and the teachers I've worked with. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents. They've always supported my athletic endeavors. I could probably count the games that they did not attend on one hand. No matter what was going on in their lives, I could always find them in the stands, quite possibly with matching cardigans, sometimes cardinal red. In high school, my mom drove our team bus to every away game that we played. She was always the quiet support in the stands. Thank you, Mom. And then there was my dad. One of my favorite memories of him attending our games was when we were in the quarterfinals against Central Iowa at North Central's Fieldhouse. The lead changed back and forth many, many times. My dad has always had somewhat of a nervous stomach, but that game proved to be too much for him. The best offensive game of my career, and Dad didn't get to see too much of it. He was in the restroom. I guess when you're willing to sacrifice your own mental and physical health for your daughter, that's pretty supportive, right? When we went to Worcester, Massachusetts for the Final Four, of course my parents made the trip. After winning the national championship, celebration was in order. However, at the time, we did not know that Worcester was a dry town on Sundays. Nevertheless, my parents went out in search of refreshments for us. They found a cabbie who had a six-pack in his trunk. Seriously, Mom and Dad, I appreciate all that you have done to support me. I originally considered talking about your sacrifice of time, but I know you would never consider any of what you've done a sacrifice. It's just what you do. I love you very much. In closing, I'd like to say once again, thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, and a huge congratulations to the other Hall of Fame inductees. To any and all North Central alumni, you know what I mean when I say, once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cammie. Next, I would like to introduce Norman Junebug Robinson, class of 2000. The high level of play of June's teammates and of June and his teammates in the defensive backfield inspired him to set Cardinal football records. Some of those records still stand today, but nothing is more valuable to him than the history of team excellence that he helped create. Let's watch Norman's video. It's my honor to induct Norman into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
When Jim Miller called me with the news that I was being inducted into the Hall of Fame, to say I was shocked is an understatement. This is truly a great honor. I appreciate the Hall of Fame committee for even considering me for this recognition, and I am deeply humbled. When anyone congratulates me on being inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'm quick to say this is a collective effort, because I know I couldn't be in this position without the help of so many people. There are a number of people that have been instrumental in my football career, as well as my life, which has turned me into the person standing here today, and I want to pay homage to them. My first 2 to 3 years playing football at North Central was played strictly off my athletic ability, in my opinion. It wasn't until my senior year that I learned the true value of preparation. I think I watched so much film on the opposing team that I knew what they were going to do before they did. I feel that helped me elevate my game during my senior year. I took those values into everyday life, and even for this ceremony, I watched videos on past Hall of Fame speeches to get some ideas, and one that stood out was Tyke Spencer when he said, "Like every smart man, I would first like to thank my beautiful wife, and it would be no different for me today." So, I would first like to thank my beautiful wife, Katrina, who is also a North Central alum. We started dating in high school, and before then, I don't think I ever saw her at a football game. But after that, I don't think I ever not saw her at a football game. It's funny because after I graduated is when I think she forgot everything she knew about football. She didn't want to have anything to do with football after that. But that just goes to show me that she was just there to support me in whatever I love doing. So she's been a true constant in my life, and I just want to say thank you and I love you. To my daughters, Courtney and Kendall, when Daddy tells you to do something, you are now being told by a Hall of Famer. I went to a job conference in Utah a couple of weeks ago, and the owner of the company let the cat out of the bag about me being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And all throughout the trip, most of my coworkers were coming up with all types of creative ways to call me Hall of Famer. And at first I'm like, oh man, guys, enough's enough. But after a while, I'm like, that does have a ring to it. So now I got to try to use that to my advantage to make my daughters do what I want them to do. So, what can't I say about this next person? She is strong, beautiful, kind. I mean, I can go on and on. But from grade school to high school, college, and even now at my daughter's volleyball games, I can always hear my mom in the stands. I mean, loud, very loud. She was my biggest cheerleader. I got my confidence from my mom. She always told me and my brothers that we can do anything we put our minds to, and she's a living example of that. I always challenge her on making different dishes because she's into catering, and she never disappoints. This lady is truly amazing in all aspects of life, and I'm glad that God chose her to be my mom. I grew up in a home with 3 brothers, and when I say competition was at an all-time high, it was through the roof. We competed at everything from sports to video games and anything in between. They made me hate losing because if I lost to them, I wouldn't hear the end of it. We made each other want to be better and the best in anything that we did, and that's where I got my competitive edge from. I would like to thank Deshaun, Zedric, and Michael for instilling that in me. When I first got to North Central, I didn't know what to expect. It was a tough transition coming from Chicago to Naperville, but I'll say this, the guys on my football team my freshman year made that transition so smooth, it was as if I've been knowing them for years. The relationships that I've built playing football at North Central have been lifelong, and it is evident that some of my teammates are in the crowd today, and I just want them to know that I appreciate them for all of their support, because without them, I wouldn't be standing up here today, so thank you guys. I would like to give a special thanks to one of my best friends, Brian Lee, for accepting me as a brother the first day I stepped foot on campus. Brian Lee was an all-conference cornerback the year before I got to North Central, and when I got here, he took me under his wing. I learned so much from Brian Lee that I even broke the the career interception record my senior year. And till this day, Brian Lee tells me that 50% of my interceptions are due to the fact that the other team didn't want to throw the ball to his side of the field. And I can honestly admit today that he is right. But it doesn't matter anymore because Shane Durkin holds that record, so there's that. Bear with me, guys, but I would like to thank coaches Larry Buckley, Al Scott, Reggie Evans, Jesse Chick, Lamont Haynes, Bill Mack, Joe DeGeorge, Lawrence Wayne, Jim Miller, and all of the coaches that have had a hand in my athletic success. It wasn't until I was a graduate assistant that I saw the amount of hard work and dedication that goes into coaching. Coaching is not an easy job, and I'm forever grateful for all that you guys have done. Thanks. There are a number of family, friends, in-laws, co-workers, and countless others that have supported me for years, and that still holds true to this day, as many of them have taken time out of their busy schedule to come all of this way to see me being inducted. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and this doesn't go unnoticed. I appreciate you guys. Lastly, if it wasn't for my father who is no longer with us, I wouldn't be the man that I am today. He is the true definition of sacrifice. During my senior year in high school, he used to walk to work while I drove to school. There are countless examples of his sacrifice, but that just goes to show you that my dad made things happen for us, even if it meant him going without. My father's name is Norman as well, and I can remember him telling my mom that he loves coming to the games because when they say my name over the speaker, it's as if they were talking about him. Well, now he can hear them say our name as Norman Robinson, North Central College Hall of Famer. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Norman. Next, we'll recognize the career of Mia Viola Peretta, class of 2001. Mia came to North Central as an outside hitter in volleyball, despite offers from other schools to switch to defense. She found a program that supported her decision to play the position that she knew was right. That resulted in a historic career that taught Mia the value of team and the importance of teaching. Let's watch about Mia. It's my honor to induct Mia into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
I would like to thank everybody on the committee for considering me for this wonderful honor. It is certainly one of the most meaningful honors that I have ever received. I feel deeply humbled and very honored to be sharing this stage with such accomplished athletes and coaches, and would like to sincerely congratulate my fellow nominees, both past and present. I am not someone who's ever been comfortable with recognition, but I am very excited and grateful to be part of this particular North Central story. North Central has always meant so much more to me than just a place where I earned my degree and played volleyball. North Central truly was a home for me. I came to North Central because of Marcy. She might have only been my coach for 1 year, but she was there for me every step of the way, on and off the court. She was a great teacher and role model and was somebody I looked up to. I knew I wanted to be a great teacher just like her. Thank you, Marcy, for helping me make one of the best decisions of my life in choosing to come to North Central. I also wanted to thank Karen. Karen took over the team after Marcy was my coach for the for the next 3 years. She continued developing my abilities as a player and as a leader and never let me settle for less than my best. She pushed me, understanding my competitive nature and my commitment to our team. Years later, I can see her continued influence in my professional and personal life. Volleyball gifted me with so many great friendships and amazing teammates. I would not be receiving this honor if I had not been surrounded by an exceptional group of women. I believe our teams were so successful because every player gave 110% out on the floor each and every day. I knew we would never let each other down. I want to thank each and every one of my teammates for making my 4 years the best ever and for shaping my life forever. To my family and friends, it means so much to me that I have you here to share in this event. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support. Bella and Ari, you have always been my cheerleaders. Your love and support keep me going in times of challenge, and your unconditional and enthusiastic celebration of life's high moments make me feel so lucky to have a home team like ours. I want to thank my amazing husband, Jimmy. I love you very much, and thank you for all your support. If it was not for North Central Volleyball and winning the Emory tournament, I would have never met my best friend and partner in life. I am so blessed that you were brought into my life. You have made me the happiest person ever. To my wonderful kids, Alex and Libby, you both have brought me so much love and joy, and I am so proud to be your mom. Through sports, the two of you will learn incredible life lessons that will serve you well throughout the rest of your lives. Win or lose, you are building character that will make you stronger and help with any hurdle that you may need to overcome. Dad and I love you very much and will be there for you no matter what. My wish for you is that you each get to experience in your own special way what I learned, lived, and felt as a North Central Cardinal. My mom and dad are the biggest part of my journey. There never were bigger fans than them. They never missed a game. They taught me to be a fighter and a competitor and to never give up, no matter how hard the challenge or how impossible a goal seemed. They were very supportive, never letting me settle for anything less than my best. They instilled in me a fierce drive to give all I had in everything I did. My dad passed away in 2005. I wish he were here today to share in this event, but I know he is proud. Mom, this award is just as much yours as it is mine. You have loved me whether I won or lost and guided me in learning and doing everything possible to walk in the path of greatness. Thank you for believing in me and always being there. I love you very much. If it weren't for North Central and all the wonderful people and experiences along my journey, I wouldn't be the teacher, the coach, the wife, or the mom that I am today. I absolutely loved every minute on this campus as a student athlete. Standing here today, reliving amazing memories and celebrating special relationships, my love for and appreciation of North Central is even deeper. Thank you for spotlighting my part of the NCC story. Today I get to share my love of this special place with the people I love the most, and that is the greatest gift of all. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mia. Next, it's my honor to introduce my teammate, Tony Rizzo, class of 2002. Tony was a 9-time All-American and a huge contributor to the Cardinal cross country and track and field teams during his time as a student. He always trusted in his teammates and his coaches to lift him up, and in turn, he always did whatever he could to help the team succeed. Let's watch Tony's video. It's my honor to induct Tony into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Wow, I mean, when I got the call, like many of us over here from Jim Miller, I was definitely flabbergasted and shocked, and I think the first thing I did was send a text message to now Coach Matt Sinnott, and he said, "I've been waiting to tell you for all day." So we had that conversation, and then the phone rings from Al Carius. So I'm definitely deeply honored and humbled to be standing here amongst the elite and with the current class. Now, there's a few things that I do want to talk about. The first and foremost, I need to thank my parents. They have been not only my biggest fans, biggest supporters, but they have traveled across the nation to watch me run, watch our team survive, prevail, fail, and come back from failure. And again, they've been there with the checkbook, so to speak, and definitely helped out in that aspect throughout time. So Mom and Dad, thank you very much. This is very much yours as it is mine. As far as everything else goes, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Al and Frank. When I got to North Central, I knew this was the place for me. So I met Al Carius for the first time, and I actually was with Eric Diekman and Sergio Marino, and I missed our first meeting. So I was supposed to meet with Al, and we went on a long run, and we decided to take a nap. So missed that meeting, and when I did finally get to meet Al and shake his hand, I realized how life-changing this was going to be. And as such, I've adopted it into my own team, because I am a coach as well for cross-country and track and field, and that motto is run for fun and personal best. And what that means is if you're not having fun, then you're never going to achieve. You're never going to achieve in life, in classroom, in athletics, anywhere, because it has to be fun. So thank you, Al, for teaching me that life lesson that I didn't really fully grasp an understanding of until I had graduated from North Central. But I do fully understand that now. And Frank, thank you very much for pushing me in the right direction. Sometimes when you veer to the left, he always had to steer me to the right behind Al's back. But it worked. And I thank you very much for that, Frank. And again, to Coach Matt Sinnott, who I have to mention, I would not have my position at West Aurora High School if it wasn't for him and the belief that we had an idea on where to push a program and how to push athletes. And we ran with that idea, and we entrusted each other, and we pushed each other to further make athletes achieve. And he's being very successful here at North Central as a result. So Matt Sinnott, thank you very much as well for believing and having the confidence in me to do that. So in closing, all of our athletic accomplishments, or all my athletic accomplishments, were a result of our team. So I couldn't have done anything without teammates to have pushed me, to push each other to get to that level of competition and to hold each other accountable throughout the time that we had at North Central. So I thank my teammates. This is very much an honor for you guys as well. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tony. Our next inductee is Brian DeLoria, class of 2005. Brian was North Central's first national champion in men's pole vault and set a record as part of our track and field team. But even as a star in an individual event, he always thrived in the team environment, representing the most important values of Cardinal athletics. Let's watch Brian's video. It's my honor to induct Brian into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
It's a great honor today to be recognized as a part of the history of athletics at North Central College, and especially special given that there are two pole vaulters on stage, and that I get to go first too. Is good. If you're not familiar with pole vault, it's kind of a niche event in track and field. Not all schools want to deal with it. We don't sit still. We only compete in one event. Our pole bags take up a lot of space on the team bus. But it's an important part of track, and you know, the fact that the program has always supported our group has been wonderful. You know, something that reminds me of North Central history is you know, that smiling picture they saw up there. One of the honors that my teammates and I would be very proud of is when you won a conference title or an All-American honor, and they would put your picture on the field house wall. That's Murner Field House, alongside some of the old timers, the athletes from decades ago, or recent teammates. And we'd before practice or after practice, sometimes if we had time, we'd look at the pictures on the wall, and you know, we'd see. It was great to see pole vaulters from the past, and we'd go ask, you know, Al, what was this? Al or Grammy or Coach Winder or teammates, you know, what was this athlete? What was that? And we get stories about it. So getting your picture up there, you know, that meant that they would be stories about you in the future. And being in the Hall of Fame, you know, makes me think that maybe there'll be more stories about the era when I pole vaulted. So I just want to thank the teammates I had when I was on the team. I can't thank all my track teammates because that's, you know, 50 or 100 people every year, but our smaller pole vault team that were there with me, Jamie Houston, Jason Tracy, Ashley Weiser, Sue Kane, Hall of Famer here, Kerry Matthews, Phil Garill, Jacob Bremer, he's here today, Michael O'Brien, Kyle Stumpenhorst, Patty Wayland, Katie Needham, Vicky Klinger, Megan Deloria. Our first date was 20 years ago today, I was reminded, when we were making homecoming plans. Megan Bremer, she's a Hall of Famer here. Leah Rigiarello, Mallory Miller, Allison Worley, Stephen Flegel, Victor Beltran, and Mike Bina. And also coaches Tim Weiner and Justin Tabor, who you know, made it a really good team. And it's been yeah, great to be a part of the history. And I hope to come back the next time a pole vaulter gets to be on stage, which I think might be soon. So thank you.
Congratulations, Brian. Our next honoree is Ben Ewell, class of 2009. Ben wasn't planning on continuing his wrestling career after high school, but fate led him to give wrestling a try at North Central. It would be safe to say that that decision was well worth it, as he found a second home at college and became a multiple-time All-American, both as a wrestler and a student. Let's watch Ben's video. It's my honor to induct Ben into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you. So my name is Ben Ewell, and when I came to North Central, I thought that I'd come to the wrong place. I expected to transfer after the first semester or the first year, and I definitely didn't want to wrestle. I was burnt out on wrestling after a disappointing high school career. I felt that I had sacrificed a lot and put a lot of time and energy into the sport and had nothing to show for it. I crapped out at my senior year wrestling tournament, not even placing in Illinois State. And then by the time I arrived at North Central, all of my friends that went to U of I had been in school for a month. North Central starts after Labor Day. And I'd been getting drunk calls and texts of people having the time of their lives in Champaign, Illinois. So by the time I came here, I thought I was already doing college wrong. Fast forward 3 years later, starting senior year, I knew I was in the right place. I was so committed to the team, to the program around me, and the guys around me that it was just such a stark transition for me. And to tell that story in 3 to 5 minutes is impossible. So instead, I'll get to thank some of the people that got me there, from 19-year-old me to 22-year-old me. And first, I want to thank some of my teammates. Really, I started off just loving the guys in my mat room and socializing with you guys after events. I had the inspirational opportunity to watch Adam Johnson, Bobby Gingrich, and Dustin Doctor become All-Americans my freshman year, something that hadn't happened in the program in almost a decade, and made it seem achievable to do big things in Division III wrestling. I also loved watching Adam wrestle. Adam Johnson, I wanted to wrestle just like you. You came after every guy as if they just slapped your sister right before going on the mat. I loved just the way you attacked people, and I had great teammates all around me in the mat room. It's impossible to achieve anything if you're not surrounded by also high-achieving and aspirational people. I also need to thank family. And so I'm lucky to have my Uncle Josh came here from big town Traerville, Iowa. And Uncle Josh throughout my life has been at every major tournament or event, life event even, that I've been at. And I also always knew when he was at a wrestling tournament because I could hear exactly what he wanted me to do, screaming from the stands, cutting through the crowd and the headgear. I'm gonna take a page out of everyone's book so far and thank my parents. Like, where would we all be without the people who created us? And I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I know there's no end to what my parents would have done to see any of us succeed. So thank you for that. I have 3 little sisters, Maggie, Nell, and Evelyn, who I will always remember coming off the mat, losing in the national final, and then going up into the stands and seeing my 3 sisters standing or sitting near one each other with Fear the Bird t-shirts on and tears running down their faces. And my first thought was, oh my God, mom or dad fell in the stands or something happened. I didn't realize that what I was doing on the mat meant so much to you girls. And I didn't realize what Gabe and I were doing, you guys were huge fans of. So I also have a brother who's 15 months younger than me, a year behind me in school growing up. And being the oldest of 5 kids, growing up, I desperately wanted something special or something different that I did that none of my siblings did that made me special compared to them. And it turned out that, you know, I start karate, Gabe starts karate. I go play soccer, Gabe plays soccer. Like, we did everything together growing up. I couldn't get away from you. And so I want to continue that story in a second. I forgot to thank my coaches, Kevin and Carl Bratland, because you guys made wrestling so simple for me. And thank you for spending the first few years of your coaching careers instructing me and the guys, because I just had to do what you told me, and most of the time it worked out. So I bought into the program, knew that you guys were training and preparing me well, so thank you, Bratlands. But my brother, who I could not get away from, it turns out that everything I did, he did too. And in hindsight, those are all shared memories now. And I'm glad I didn't go do my own special thing. I'm glad that I always have this memory with Gabe, that memory with Gabe. It's always with my brother. So, in a 3-year transition from really not thinking I made the right choice to being, full-blooded, bleeding Cardinal red, very excited to put on that red singlet with Cardinals across the chest. I have my teammates, my family, my coaches, the athletic department, our alums, wrestling alums are amazing, and North Central College itself. So thank you very much for this honor and for making me want to be a Cardinal.
Congratulations, Ben. Next, I would like to introduce Matt Wanger, class of 2010. Matt rose quickly from hoping just to make the football team to being the top defensive player in the CCIW in only 3 years. Not even a season-ending injury in 2009 could slow him down from becoming the National Defensive Player of the Year in his senior season, leading the Cardinals to an undefeated regular season and closing out his football career with distinction. Let's watch Matt's video. It's my honor to induct Matt into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
I'm using notes. I noticed Ben didn't use notes, so I've got kind of a tough act to follow. But first off, I'd like to say what a tremendous honor it is to be selected to the Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the selection committee for considering me and congratulate the other inductees as well. I know they've been doing this since 2004, and there's only 122 people that have been inducted now, and it's kind of crazy, all the athletes that have come through here, and there's such a small number, so it's really a great honor. Thank you. Shortly after I received the news from Jim Miller, we all got an email from Mary Reynolds with kind of the logistical information, and she said, please keep your speech within 3 to 5 minutes and make sure you practice. I thought, easy, no problem. I started kind of thinking about what I'm going to say, and I'm like, how am I going to keep this in 3 to 5 minutes? So I will, but there's just a lot to kind of process, and 4 years and 3 minutes, I'm gonna give it a try. I have many people to thank for helping me get this point. First and foremost, for me, I want to thank God for blessing me with the talent and ability that He did. We all know that excelling in sports takes more than just talent and ability, but having the foundation, it certainly does help. Next, I'd like to thank my parents who are here today. Without them and their support, none of this would have been possible for me. All throughout my childhood and growing up, they were always there supporting me and pushing me, challenging me to be the best that I could be. Next, I'd like to thank my wonderful wife, Taylor, who's here with our 2 little boys. We didn't meet at North Central, but shortly after we started dating, we did come back to a game, kind of met the whole crew, and I think that she quickly realized why this is such a special place to me. And I'd also like to thank my in-laws who are here as well, Jeff and Dana, for supporting me as well. Next is my teammates. A lot of special teammates in my 4 or 5 years here. A team is a collection of individuals, but all working together towards the same goal. No one can do it by themselves, and I was certainly blessed to have some of the greatest teammates, and some of which have become my very best friends. A few of them that I want to mention my name that are here: Dominic, Nick, Tim Janicek, he's down coaching football, Derek. People say you are who you surround yourself with, and I was lucky enough that when I came in here, I lived right next to them, or I was roomed with some of the best guys, and we all pushed each other, we all challenged each other, and we're all very focused on being the best that we could be. And it was just good for me that I was lucky to be in that situation, and they're also some great friends today. Coaches, I've had a lot of great coaches throughout my career, both before I got here and especially here at North Central. Coach Thorns, both John and Jeff, Coach Winky, Coach Ponks, Coach Foster, Coach Spencer, Coach Lester. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, but I truly feel lucky to have had such great coaches. Coach Thorne, obviously he was a great X's and O's coach, but he's also a coach that truly cared about his players and making them better students. And we'd always talk about, being the best student, being the best employee, turning into the best husband, and being great fathers. It's something that he'd always talk about, and it kind of resonated a little bit when I was 18 to 22. I'm kind of like, okay, yeah. But now I'm 33, and I've got 2 little kids of my own, and thinking back to how Coach Thorne was, like, those are the guys that I want my kids to play for. People like that. They just had a major impact on me, and I really couldn't thank him enough. Coach Winky, he was the one that recruited me out of high school. We had an instant connection because he started recruiting me when I was in wrestling season. So I was kind of sucked down. It was right before regionals, and I was a 171-pounder. And, some other schools had come through there, and they saw me then. They're like, no. Yeah. And Winky stuck with me. And, I'll always be grateful for that because, he knew that it didn't scare him off that he knew that I would be back up to my football weight. But I never forgot the people that really kind of wrote me off at that point. I won't mention them by name, but one of them actually ended up being a coach at Eau Claire, who we played when I was a 5th-year senior. He was an offensive coach. We dominated him, and that's kind of the stuff that makes me tick. I don't forget stuff like that. It's probably something that's not good, but it's just the way I am. So, there's so much I could say about, my time playing here. I talked about, when I did my interview with Clark, I kind of just talked a little bit about the maturation process coming from freshman to senior year. When I came in as a freshman, the game was so much faster. I was just kind of like looking around, trying to figure out, just reacting. My goal was I wanted to, contribute on special teams and, get on the field that way. About halfway through the year, I think I came in, we were playing Wheaton at Wheaton. I came in, I can't remember the reason, but I ended up playing the rest of the year. The seniors that were that year were absolutely great. They're great leaders. Cam, Tim Belzini, Chris Bazant. Chris Bazant actually pretty much told me what I was supposed to do on every play. Like, I'd say, hey, what am I supposed to do? He'd say, you got to go over there. Like, you got that gap. All right, I'll just play then. And it was so helpful to me. And I don't know if I ever told him that, but he helped me out so much. And I should probably tell him if I see him next time. And eventually, moving through my career until, when I came back for a 5th year, I got hurt the first game of my regular senior year, tore my ACL. But then I got to come back for a 5th year, and I hope that I was able to, kind of be a mentor for the younger guys like they were for me. And that 5th year was one of the most fun years I think I ever had playing football. We made it to the quarterfinals and lost to the eventual national champion, Whitewater. At the time, it was the furthest North Central's made it, and we probably had them beat. Just a couple things in the 4th quarter didn't go our way, but that's the way it is, and we just didn't make our breaks. Overall, I love my time here. I'm very thankful for it, and really honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So thank you.
Congratulations, Matt. Next, we'll recognize the career of Jake Winder, class of 2011. Our second pole vaulter in this year's class, Jake transferred to North Central and became a perfect fit with the track and field team's legacy of excellence. Having a Hall of Fame pole vaulting coach as a dad probably had a little something to do with it too. He won back-to-back national championships as an individual and contributed to the team winning the indoor and outdoor national titles in the same season. Along the way, he learned lessons about teamwork, perseverance, and that's been something he's been passing on ever since. Let's watch Jake's video. It's my honor to induct Jake into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Hey, Lacey in Brooklyn. Promised I would say hi to them up here. Okay, first I would like to thank everyone involved with this process and the selection committee for presenting me with the honor of being in the North Central Hall of Fame, and congratulating everyone who's been nominated. In order to respect your time and the time of the other inductees, I'm going to keep my remarks limited, but please understand that there are so many people that I love and I'm so thankful for in my journey. My success in the pole vault really had not to do that much with me and a lot to do with the people that God has put in my life. I was very driven when I was younger to become the best pole vaulter I could be. This meant many hours of training, restrictions on social events, moodiness during low times, and the list goes on and on. I'm not sure that my wife knew what she was signing up for when we met my junior year in high school, but sign up she did, and she's been super patient and understanding every step of the way. Luckily, having been an 8-time conference champion and 2-time All-American herself in the high jump, she understood what it was like to be a great athlete, and she still holds the most conference wins of any winder, actually. She really did not want me to say that. She really did. On the way here, she specifically said, "Don't say that." I'm just very proud of her. She has played a big role, as big of a role as anyone in my success, especially during my time at North Central, and I love you and I thank you for that, Michelle. My brothers Josh and Luke were the greatest training partners and friends that anyone could ever have asked for. Traditionally, older siblings are supposed to push their younger siblings to be the best they can be. But I honestly remember more times where the help was flowing to me instead. These guys are so dedicated, strong, and talented. They have been inspiring me since the day we started pole vaulting and continue to do so. Thank you both for your support over the years. As I've gotten older and started to work with young people, I've been able to better understand the great value of parents. I'm so thankful for mine and all the work that they put into raising my brothers and I. My mom has always been our biggest cheerleader and had to endure a lot of difficult times seeing her boys disappointed and hurt whenever things did not go our way. I'm sure she was constantly on an emotional roller coaster raising 3 accomplished pole vaulters. Thank you so much, Mom, for everything that you've done to get us to where we're at now. The success in pole vaulting that my family has had starts with my dad, who was my coach throughout this whole journey and also a Hall of Fame coach. The time we spent together on our path through college was a very special time in my life, and it is fun to look back at how far we've come. Do you remember when we had the simple goal of, Jake, if you just jump 15 feet in high school, that would be really, really good. And now look how deep down the rabbit hole we've gone with this whole thing. It's pretty crazy to look back on. But great systems make great coaches make great athletes, and my dad has developed an incredible system of instruction. I have been blessed to see the true power of his system when we opened our training center, Rise Pole Vault, and are now able to offer it to anyone who wants to learn how to do this fun and rewarding sport. It's amazing to see the power of what you developed in action and how much joy it continues to bring vaulters of all ages. I would also like to thank all of my teammates I was able to share this journey with. The team I was a part of was very special, and I'm so thankful at each and every moment that we shared. I think back on them all the time. What a great time that was. Also, a special thank you to my close friends who were patient with me when I was being dedicated, but maybe should have been being a better friend. A special thank you goes out to Grammy, Al, and Jim Miller for all the opportunities that you have offered, not only me, but my family. I could go on a whole separate speech explaining the roles that these three played in not only my success, but the success of my entire family. When my dad first came to North Central and I was very young, and then I started to become a pole vaulter, it was during a time that there was still a place for favors to be done and doors to be accidentally left unlocked, and people to trust our intentions of just wanting to be the best we could be at our craft. These three people have all stuck their necks out for my family and I at one time or another, and you'll never understand how much that's appreciated. Once again, this is only a drop in the ocean when it comes to the people who are responsible for my success. As I look out into the crowd, I see so many people that have really helped me along the way. I wish I could go into more detail about all of the help you have offered me. Please know that I'm deeply grateful for each and every person who has supported me along this journey. Once again, thank you so much for this great honor. Have a great homecoming weekend.
Thanks, Jake. Our next inductee is Derek Reardon, class of 2013. Derek had a historic season as a scorer in his first year on the basketball team, but his role evolved as his career went on. Derek's commitment to putting the team first paid off as he was a four-time All-CCIW selection, an All-American, Conference Player of the Year, and led the team to their best regular season in program history. Let's watch Derek's video. It's my honor to induct Derek into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
All right, I'm a little disappointed they didn't show any of my dunks up there, but I'll talk to Clark about that. First, I wanted to thank North Central College, the athletic program. They've done a lot for me, my family as well. I had the unique ability of playing for my father, who still coaches today, and my brother as well, which was a treat to have a family affair Monday through Sunday, basically. Next, I mean, the lovely ladies in my life, my mom, who puts up with all my crap still to this day, and my girlfriend Hannah, who you'll see her. My face is on her T-shirts. She's such a big fan, and I love them both dearly, and they're they're the sweetest women I know. Next, I think I owe a tremendous amount of thanks to my teammates. I had a ton of fun, but again, like all the people commented up here, I wouldn't have had the success I had personally without great teammates, and it's nice to see the basketball team here as well. You guys are welcome to wear those shirts to any warm-up for any game this year. I already ran it by the coach. And then, I apologize if I forgot anyone else, but I think that in terms of thanks, that should cover it. I have two quick stories. As I look back on my career, my favorite memory of my game, or one of my games, was senior year, Sweet 16, we played against Illinois Wesleyan. And for reasons I won't go into, I can't stand Illinois Wesleyan. Everyone talks about Wheaton as a rival, but I hate Illinois Wesleyan. And it was so much fun to eliminate them from the national tournament my senior year in front of just a packed house in Myrna Fieldhouse. And that was just, it was a memory I'll never forget. And the other one comes from my freshman year. We're playing at Wheaton, supposed to be a big rival, right? I'm sitting in the locker room, and the basketball guys know this. With about 7 minutes left before the start of every game, we go to the locker room. And for 5 minutes, we sit in silence, and my dad just paces back and forth. And it was very tense, and I was a freshman, so I didn't know any better. I'm sitting there with my arms crossed and legs crossed, kind of sit back, and there's kids in the crowd, so I'll censor myself, but he thinks he's bleeping all world. And I kind of look around, I'm like, who? And he was talking about me for not appearing to be ready to play, and I thought, I'm relaxed, I feel good. And we ultimately lost the game, which was unfortunate, and I probably should have played better. But you know what, Dad? I'm not all world, but I'm in the Hall of Fame. So, thank you.
Yes, you are, Derek. Yes, you are. Our final inductee is Coach Ed Matthey, class of 1986. Coach Matthey has led the North Central baseball team for 2 stints over 20 years, 16 of them as our head coach. He's guided generations of Cardinals to unprecedented success, making an indelible imprint on the history of our athletic program. And with a current run of 6 consecutive CCIW championships coming into this season, he's showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Let's watch Coach's video. It's my honor to induct Coach Ed Matthey into the Athletic Hall of Fame.
I hope that clarifies it, Kenny Ritter. It's not as a player. necessaries. First off, I would like to thank the members of the committee for this distinguished recognition, and I'd like to congratulate all the current and past honorees of NCC Athletic Hall of Fame. I've had the pleasure to meet many of you personally over my 30 years connected with North Central, as a student, as a teammate, as a peer, as an instructor in some of your classes, and as a coach. Coming into North Central Hall of Fame as a coach, the thing you immediately recognize is the fact it is because of the many efforts of those around you that this occurs. A wonderful family, a great coaching staffs, outstanding teams, talented, talented and dedicated players and supportive administrators. While there are many who should be thanked, time only permits a few, as I tried to promise Mary I would do my job. First and most importantly, my family, my wife Colleen, and our 3 children who grew up around North Central during my first stint here, Patrick, Michael, and Juliet. I'm certain that if we could get Hall of Famer Glenn Benke up here to share a few stories about the 3 amigos, he would take a lot of time about the damage they did to the field house while they were here. And Colleen, that was the guy in that first picture that you remembered when you agreed to be a coach's wife. As a coach, you take on many different duties and situations that need your attention and take you away from your family time. I am fortunate to have a family that has helped in that regard. Now, if there are any traits that I may possess that help me get to this microphone today, that would be the ability to evaluate and recruit. If anyone doubts that, I will simply point to my wife Colleen as an argument. Secondly, I'd like to acknowledge my family growing up, being the 5th of 6 children and having 2 older brothers play professional baseball. It was not always easy to find your spotlight. My father, Gus, gave my brothers and me the passion for the game, making time and effort to teach me the game even when his heart would keep him out of work for a few years. Whether it was taking me outside to throw and hit or explaining the game while watching his beloved White Sox on TV, I learned to love and understand this game. I may have been the guy holding the rabbit ears so we can get a better signal on the UHF channel to watch the White Sox, but we were there together. My mother, Jean, taught me about the work ethic, especially after Dad passed, carrying 3 jobs to support a family. In addition to grounding me several times, she always kept me grounded, especially the time I was playing in an over 30 league with some of our college teammates here, a couple guys in the Hall of Fame. Happened to have a particularly good day when the sponsor of our team, who owned a restaurant that my mother worked at, making salads for lunch, was there. If I remember it right, I pitched pretty well that day and probably hit 2 or 3 or 4 home runs, right, Kenny? Yeah. And a few days later, I stopped to see Mom at work. The owner stopped by, said to my mom, Jean, she goes, Jean, can't believe you didn't tell me Ed was such a good ball player. Mom, without missing a beat, said, Eddie, if you think he could play, you should have seen his brothers. They were good. She was right. They were better than me. Coming to North Central College as a transfer student is probably the direct result of 2 or 3 people. My lifelong friend, Don Carlson, was a student here. My former high school teammate and good friend, Dr. David Minier, and of course, former head coach and Hall of Famer, Tom Purcell, the late Tom Purcell. Those years were filled with gritty guys who had a tremendous desire to be champions and a coach who knew how to fuel that desire. As a group, we have spent countless hours reliving those fun years, and the legend of Tom Purcell continues to grow. Coach Purcell also gave me my first chance to be a college coach as his pitching coach in 1990. Volunteer coach in that 87 year a little bit too. He inspired me and also kept me grounded, as we all know only Coach Purcell could do with us. Not many days go by that I don't think, how would Coach Purcell handle this? Steady hit on the line running, probably. When it was time for him to step aside, he is the one who paved the way for my first head coaching opportunity, working with then athletic director Al Carius to provide that chance in 1994. I must also thank the best AD I've seen in Jim Miller, along with Sue Kane and Marty Sauer for making my return to North Central College in 2015 possible. Share a quick little story here with you about my fellow class of 1986 graduate, Jim Miller. It won't be that story, Jim, don't worry. Okay? Jim had me worried when he broke the news to me about the induction. He had Al Carius, Frank Grammaroso, Tom Arrico, Tim Perrano, Tim Stoddard and Joe Heller, all members of our coaching staff, joined him in the stands at the baseball field for the announcement. Here I thought it was going to be an intervention. Woo! Oh, and nice move, Jim, by the way, having the great Al Carius call me on the phone shortly after our initial meeting about returning here, insisting that this was definitely the place that I needed to be. That call lasted about 30 minutes. And everybody knows it's best to listen to Al. Thank you, Al. Your guidance, advice, and more importantly, your friendship over my time here at North Central cannot be measured. Thank you. The move has resurrected my passion and once again brought me home, or as Coach Stoddard and my wife Colleen put it, probably saved me. I need to thank the current edition of the coaching staff, as they have been behind this amazing run of 6 straight CCIW titles, several regional titles, a semifinal finish. Tom Arrico, Tim Perrano, Joe Heller, Tim Stoddard, Joe Keenan, Alex Corey, Sing Fong, Todd Trunk, Mike Duckhorn, Don Sutherland, and all of our GAs, including our newest one, Connor Chrisman. Sounds like a football staff, doesn't it, June? We got a lot of work done. It's great. It's great. Thank you, guys. Just then, I noticed our current team is up here. Thank you guys for coming. Love it. Just think, 40 or more years to go to catch cross country for consecutive CCIW titles. And that's only if they stop. Which they won't, right, Frank? Finally, thank to all of you, all those that I have not mentioned by name. A lot of my former teammates are here. It really brings a tear to my eye, seeing it touches my heart. Coaching staffs, and more importantly, the marvelous and dedicated players, as they are the ones that truly make this happen. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach, and congratulations. Let's give one more big round of applause for our class of 2021. Oh, I wish all of you who are out there could see our view of all of you standing to give them that well-deserved round of applause. To wrap up today's ceremony, I'd like to invite Jim Miller, our athletic director, to come to the podium to offer some closing remarks. Jim?
That font's like 48, so I don't need my cheaters. You can actually see it. It's a lot bigger than mine. Right. First of all, thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Jessica, for being here for this great experience. Let me again offer the congratulations to the new inductees and obviously those who were able to come back today. This is a proud day for North Central College. You guys are amongst the best of the best, and you've made a lasting impact on this institution and on so many people. The values you guys stand for, the principles that define your careers, and the very same things that we try to teach our student athletes today. And these people are really a lot to learn from. I even, Ed, had an intervention with Bernard and the group earlier today. So no one's too old to learn, and be appreciated. These awards secure your place in history. We hope you fondly remember this day, and we hope that everything that you've accomplished for the Cardinals and will pay forward. Thank you again for joining us in the celebration, everybody here. It's a great crowd. I hope you enjoyed the ceremony and hearing all these great stories. And you know, it really does come from the heart. So I'd like to, again, let's give these guys and everyone else and these women one last surprise. Remind you, the homecoming game is at 2 o'clock, and then followed by, if you want to stick around for the 6:30 and then the 8:30 soccer games, make a day of it, right? Anyways, I believe that we want them to stay up here for pictures. So thank you guys. Enjoy your homecoming.